It's Gene from maverickstar. You know, the series of videos that we've done on suspicious observers, Ben Davidson, has been a long time in the coming. He deserved it. You know, the amount of times I've just taken it and taken it and taken it from him, the abuse and the slander, despite me threatening I'll take him to court, and I could have took him to court many times because all the allegations he made against me was unfounded. As we all know, I have produced evidence of all the equipment we use. I've produced evidence of my scientific qualifications. You know, I've been very open, like a book. But him on the other hand, you know what? Like I say, if after this video, this video right now, he has any credibility, it will be that only belonging to the gutter. And that's where he belongs. Because he's a con man that has been circulating YouTube for way too long, and it just needed someone like me to bring him down to size. And others have tried as well. You know, that pinned comment that I've put in the last two videos, I'm also going to put it in this video. Have a look at that link. Click on the link and watch what Professor Dave says about suspicious observers. More importantly, what I found shocking, not just about the investigation that Professor Dave did into suspicious observers, was the fact that suspicious observers, Ben Davidson, threatened him. He says, I've got 500,000 subscribers and I've got 5,000 people that follow me on Facebook, and some of them might not be mentally stable. And if I start talking about you in a negative way, you might get a knock on the door. Suspicious observers states in this letter, if you stop it, in that, you know, in that part where he's showing this guy, Professor Dave is showing the reply from suspicious observers. He's not only threatening to unleash mentally unstable people on him, he's also said that it took me minutes to find out your address. Come on. That's unstable, that is. That's unstable reaction and behaviour. Like I said, all you need to know about suspicious observers is in that link. He's done a way better job than what I could have. It's just what I've been saying over the years. You know, I knew his mobile observatory was nothing more than a trick to obtain money out of you guys. I knew that his disaster app never worked from day one. And the two people that he tried to get a peer-reviewed scientific paper published failed, have backed away from him completely. They don't want nothing to do with him. They've even removed him off LinkedIn, I think. They don't want nothing at all to do with suspicious observers, and they are regretting putting the name to him because he knowingly overlooked all the scientific method of proving something. That disaster app never worked, and suspicious observers is said to have earned £250,000 on Kickstarter for that app alone. You have a right to your money back because there is an obligation on Davidson's part to, you know, actually come up with the goods. And on both occasions he's failed. For the observatory, the mobile observatory, he failed. There was no observed anything. You know, on the disaster app, it never worked, and it could never work because of the science that it was based on. You know, suspicious observers is a narcissist. He has gone round YouTube convincing people that he is, you know, credible, yet has no scientific credentials whatsoever, so to speak of. Not one. He bunked out of law school. His main topic, which he likes to talk about mostly, is due diligence. And that has nothing to do with science whatsoever. He has taken people's money and squandered it on everything else but the science. So, all you need to do to find out all about suspicious observers is click the link down below and you'll find out. You'll be shocked. He's ruthless. And of course, when you corner somebody like him, like Professor Dave has in that video he's done about suspicious observers, when you corner someone like him, guess what they turn to? Aggressive behaviour. and threats. I know where you live. You want me to turn you over to 500,000 of my subscribers, some of which may be mentally unstable, and you might get a knock on your door. My goodness me. That is the behaviour of a monster. That is Ben Davidson. Every opportunity he has had to make money from you good folk, he has done it. He has exercised it and he has put it into practice. The company, LLC, if you look at that link that I've provided, is a sham. It's nothing short of a scam. There is £250,000 out there put in his hands right now, which is unaccounted for. You know, the disaster app has failed. And in any case, let's face it, you know, we're talking about somebody that talks about the promise of a micronovae, which don't exist. Our star will never micronovae. It will at the end of its life, which we already see through studying our universe. You know, stars, when they come to their end of their life and they burn the very last bits of fuel, they do explode. It's called a supernovae. There is no micronovae ever going to take place with our sun. And suspicious observers is talking about there will be less than 1%. What he's using is clearly scare tactics to scare you, not only to believe in what he's saying, but also to take your money from you, out of your pocket, your hard-earned money. And he's already did it. 20-odd thousand pounds on the mobile observatory, £250,000 on an app that don't work. If you brought it, you already had to subscribe to it, but it doesn't work. He only comes out with bullshit, followed by more bullshit, and he is a joke in the scientific community, on at large. Everybody is laughing at this poor man who is trying to be scientific, yet has not even taken the initiative to study science one little bit. Now, if that's what you want, if you want the butcher to do a service on your car, if you want the butcher to repair your teeth when they're damaged, then by all means, go to Suspicious Observers, because that's exactly what you get. You don't get a solar scientist or a solar physicist. You don't get somebody that studies, earthquakes with Suspicious Observers. It's all made up. It is opinion on these things, and every one of you could have an opinion on that. Every single one of you could have an opinion on these matters, but you should listen to people that have actually taken the time out, spent the money on an education in a specific field, and you're going to get more reliable information back from somebody that has done that than somebody that just goes onto websites, digging information, looking for holes that aren't no need to be dug. That's Ben Davidson. He's a fraud, a con man, and he has literally defrauded people out of their money on numerous occasions. And let's hope this is the last of it. If any one of his subscribers still support him in his works, which aren't very scientific, or give him their money, then they deserve exactly what they get. Exactly what they get. I've got no sympathy for them. If after looking at that link that I've provided down there, you are still subscribed to Suspicious Observers, then you are the fool here. And it is your own fault for putting up with it. Because you should have used something that he talks about a lot. Due diligence. You should have used your own brain here to do a little bit of research to find out what he's been up to. You would have known what I've known for years. And I've been trying to tell you. And a lot of the time that I hear that he's ranting his mouth off about me, you know what? I understand now what it's all about. Jealousy. Simple jealousy. Because he knows I'm a qualified scientist. He knows we've got the equipment at this observatory to carry out the tasks and the jobs that we set out to do, and he knows I'm dedicated and enthusiastic. All these things he doesn't have. He's just out for one thing: the money. And it's clear after you see this video exactly the truth. And I'm sorry you've had to listen to this, and I'm hoping that some of his subscribers will look at this and then have another opinion about him, because I think it's shocking, his behaviour. You know, when someone is, you know, compiling a lot of evidence, and obviously a professor talking about his science, you know, with regards to Ben Davison, there's a lot of educated people talking about Ben Davison, and what they keep saying to him is, get your paperwork peer reviewed and then I'll discuss it with you. Until you're peer reviewed, you know, fuck off. Because he knows he's never going to get it peer reviewed. Two of the people that writ that paper with him are backed out of that paper already. He's on his own. Do you understand that? Are you still subscribed to him right now? You still want to listen to that drivel every day? You might as well listen to your son or your daughter, you know, your 5-year-old son and daughter at the breakfast table talk about the sun. It's like I said to him, you know, you've already got your next line for Twitter. Quote, the sun is round and yellow. End of quote. And that's your line, Ben, for your next video. That's the level of your understanding of solar physics. And that's where it stops. And I hope that not one more person supports you in your work, because you're a disgrace to the scientific community for your false velour, you know, trying to put yourself off as a scientist when you're clearly not. You know, I don't think that you scrape the bottom of the barrel any deeper when you try and do that. You know, like I said, the link is down there in the pin. I've pinned the link in the description for you. Click it and have a look at his background. Have a look what he's done. And you'll get Ben Davison's idea. You'll see where he's coming from and what he's all about. And like I said, he had an obligation to deliver on those both Kickstarters where he raised this money, and he's not delivered to this day either of those that he said, and you're entitled to your money back as a response to that. I would take it up with Kickstarter actually as soon as you can. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are many lawsuits now going to open up against Ben Davison because of what he's done in the past. Let's put an end to his corruption and his fraud and his lies. Let's put an end to it now. Guys, I apologise that we've had to do this. You know, but he gives good science a bad name. You know, I spent 2 years painfully trying to program that. I got to admit, I had to teach myself programming, but, you know, I was dedicated to do it. I love science. I didn't study science because I wanted a job in science. I studied it because I enjoyed it. I love it. I love understanding the mechanisms of chemistry. You know, I love the physics side of it. I love, you know, and I used to, and I should be doing it a lot more. Remember when we used to do the star in the jar experiments? I want to get back to that sort of stuff with you guys, showing you experiments and, you know, testing new things and new theories and playing with, you know, coils and the frequency generator, you know, amplified frequency in the coils, you know, with magnets and things like that. I want to get back to all those things. I really do. And I'm hoping to do that. You know, I really have got to now kick myself up the backside, and I've got to invest in some better cameras because this is poor quality. I'm sorry, you know, but I've got to do it. I know that, you know, there comes a time when the content needs to improve, and it is well beyond that, and I apologise for that. You know, I just have been concerned with making sure you got the facts, as opposed to, you know, all the other things that come along with watching videos. And I know that if I'd have done a better job at making videos more clearer and better and more entertaining, you know, better content basically, we would have had a lot more subscribers. We would have been talking to a lot more people now than what we are. And I know that that's got to change. in the near future. And you know, that's something else I'm working on. I've got this big project now that we've just took on with the new electromagnetic sensor that we've got. It's going to be a big job, not only putting the electronics together for me anyhow and writing the program that it runs on, there's also the calibration of it. And that's going to be difficult. But you know, I don't want to take nothing away from this video. What is most important is that, you know, I really want you to watch that pinned video what Professor Dave has done on suspicious observers, because it unveils exactly what sort of person he is. Better, you know, I've been trying to tell people over the years, it does a better job than what I've been trying to do for many years in telling people about him. And it's there for everyone to see. He's a fraud, a con man, a trickster, and he's relied on your lack of knowledge in this subject and got away with it for at least to now. Let's hope this is the end of his days of scamming money out of people. Okay, there's a link down there if you want to get behind a real scientist and a real observatory trying to, you know, shed a bit of light in this vast darkness that we're in of all this BS. And the only other thing for me to say is you have a very good evening. Take care of your loved ones, as always. Bye for now.